Microphone.
Most welcome to another video that has caused me a bit of problems, I must say. For the first time, IBCA played two championships for all players, independent of age and gender. It all took place in, now you have to forgive me for the pronunciation, Rzeszów in Poland. The classical, then we played with 200 minutes for the entire game with increment of 30 seconds from the first move, was followed up by a rapid tournament with 25 minutes and 5 seconds increment. That was the first time we played the Rapid Worldchampionship in IBCA. And I would say it was a great success. Almost the same number of players took part in both tournaments. One could expect that, the longer the tournaments become, there are always some people who either can't afford or have to go back for other reasons, for work or other duties. So it all went fine, I must say. And why am I not now? I actually started to record a video from the classical. But after half the tournament, I had 4 points out of 5, 3 wins and 2 draws. One could think that it all was pretty good success for me because I take a lot of medicines, a lot of morphines and other painkillers at the same time as a lot of poisons to fight my cancer. But I think this is always difficult to say. I don't want to excuse myself for playing bad. I don't want to have excuses like I was tired because I took a lot of morphine and so, but it might be like it is with this, but the games became pretty uninteresting. And I also in game 2, I had a lot of pains, and fortunately for me, my opponent offered draw after 10 moves, I think. It was not a quick game, a quick draw. He fought 1 hour and I fought maybe 30 minutes or something. So it wasn't an agreed draw from the beginning. But I was very happy to end the game quickly. In game 3, I don't remember exactly how it was in that game actually. Let's see. I think it was a win for me, but and in round 4 I played I have already put it out of my memory, but I played another quite interesting game, one could say. It was a fight and it ended up in a draw. I could have shown it. It was not fantastic by any means. It was a lot of fighting. So I could have shown it, but it was not any special things to learn from it either. Then I won in game number 5, and this was a pretty boring great game. It was very drawish from the beginning. I think I played a very bad move. I could have pushed maybe, but then I had no problems and I managed actually to get to 1 position. But then I throwed it all away in 1 move and my opponent throwed it back to me in 1 move also. So I finally won the game, but we both played pretty bad, I must say. And in round 4 I was white, and as long as we played fairly, yeah, it was okay. And then my opponent blundered all the game in one move, in move 16. It was still in my theory book, at least. So, yeah, even the games that I played in the first half were not fantastic at all, by no means. And then it continued to get worse. And I dropped material in a few games, and yeah, it was, I only took half a point out of these 4 games. All right, coming after this, so I decided to not go for more from the World Championship, because I would just have wasted both my own and your time. So, how should one then handle a rapid chess tournament? It was pretty long games to be rapid. 25 seconds and 15 seconds increment would indicate that a game often would take at least 1.5 hours. And we played 5 games the first day and 4 games the second day. I started out okay, I must say. I have decided to play a quite uncommon line against the Sicilian. And that is what I'm actually going to show in a little while. I played okay and won easily the first game. Then I started to suffer a little bit from what I did in the Classical. I forgot where pawns were and then wasted material again. But in round 2 I managed to draw, although I was a pawn down. So I have to be very grateful to my opponent who offered a draw when he had winning chances. In round 3 we come back to that game, and so I will show a part of what we are going to go through is my unconventional way of playing against the Sicilian. This was against Marco Casadei from Italy. I was completely winning after 15 moves, and I also was for a long time, but then I wasted it all in mutual time trouble. That could have happened even if I was okay without a lot of poisons and painkillers that make you tired. So I wouldn't blame that on the poisons. I simply should have played more efficient and quicker. So after 3 rounds in the rapid, I was down on 1.5 points, although I had played lower rated opponents all the games. Then I, to my own surprise, managed to start to pick up a lot of points. I actually took 5 points out of the last 6 games. So 83%, not against high-rated players. Only 1 game was against a clearly high-rated player. That was against Marcin Tasbir. I clearly showed that I didn't understand the position. And but what was a bit sad again was that I forgot that I had a pawn on G5. So a lot of such things happened, but I managed to collect myself and win again as white against the Sicilian in the last round. And then I actually shared 3rd place, but as I started with 1.5 out of 3, I only got the 6th place, but in my heart I felt like I was the big champion, because I managed in a very difficult situation to share 3rd place. 3rd to 6th place were shared. And yeah, so I had to take morphine because I get a lot of pains from the cancer. That is actually, the treatment is going well right now. So only if I can stand it and not talk too much, I have to shut up and do good things instead, then I might actually win that game. That is even a bit more serious actually than a world championship in rapid. And I was also the clearly best blind player. So I would have, I felt like I was the world champion for the blind this tournament. So what should I then do after one horrible tournament in which I at least had written down the moves, and the rapid tournament that wasn't at all well played, but without having written the moves? I didn't have complete games. So I thought I should go through a little surprise weapon that you can have use for yourself, and that I used in all 4 games in which I was white and played and had to face the Sicilian defense. So here we go, we start. White plays pawn to Qx4, pawn to Qx4. So we put a mark there, and black played pawn to Charlie 5, pawn to Charlie 5. So what I will show is a line that actually occurred in 2 of the 4 games, which led to a clearly 1 position for white after 15 moves only. The other 2 games I had was an even clearer win. Black played very weak there and was very surprised, and in the other game I also won pretty convincingly. But I picked this because it is showing the line that we will discuss now, this opening variation, and it also shows a little trap. So white played pawn to delta 4, pawn to delta 4, and black captured. Charlie takes delta 4, Charlie takes delta 4, and here white could have played knight to foxtrot 3, for example, and probably the game would have transposed into the open Sicilian. Another thing that white could have played is pawn to Charlie 3, pawn to Charlie 3. And if black captures delta takes Charlie and white takes back, knight takes Charlie 3, we are in the Mora gambit. That probably is better for white, but not at all so easy to play if white is well prepared. So a lot of players, and that is the sad thing of the story, they play knight to foxtrot 6 after Charlie 3, and then it will transpose into the Alapin Qx5 and knight delta 5, which is a bit fashionable these days. A lot of players, even Magnus Carlsen, have employed the Alapin in many games. So it's not at all a bad or boring variation. But if you think that you always will get the Mora gambit, you might be, you are simply wrong. After Charlie 3, black might also play delta 5, pawn to delta 5. But what did I play then? I played queen takes delta 4, queen takes delta 4. And this is a move that has also become a bit fashionable the last year or so. But I think that it hasn't been noticed by a lot of club players. Even the very strong player from Hungary, I don't remember his first name, I think his last name is Zambu. About my saying, his rating is a bit stronger than mine, about 2250. I played him in the Olympiad, and that you will see a little further, some weeks ahead. and in I think in the Olympiad he had 2283 or something in standard, and in rapid something 2250. Strong player, but he now was very surprised. Queen takes delta 4. We have this game and we can follow the line. It is the same as I had against Marco Casadei from Italy. Why is black then surprised? I would say because it looks like white has played a very bad move. First of all, going out with a queen like this early in the opening, it is something we teach our beginners that you shouldn't do like this. You should first develop, you should occupy the center with pawns, if possible, then develop knights and bishops, castle, and only then start to play with your heavy pieces, queens and rooks. And now I just waste time as well. I lose time because black played knight to Charlie 6. Knight to Charlie 6. Very normal move. Black develops with tempi. Develops and threatens the queen on delta 4 at the same time. The queen goes back, queen to delta 3, queen to delta 3. And obviously black can here play a lot of different, he can employ a lot of different setups. Knight foxtrot 6, followed by echo 6, and maybe then when white has developed knight to Charlie 3, play bishop to bravo 4. That is one setup. But in 3 of the 4 games, black chose to put up the pieces like in the dragon defense, fianchettoing the bishop to golf 7. So, black played first knight to foxtrot 6, knight to foxtrot 6, and I played knight to Charlie 3. Knight to Charlie 3. It's very easy for white to play when black then continues like black does in the game. Black played pawn to golf 6. Pawn to golf 6. White can simply now play knight to foxtrot 3, bishop echo 2, castle kingside, and knight to delta 5. So it's very easy to develop the pieces and plonk a knight in the middle of the board. We will see. Black plays, after golf 6, white played knight to foxtrot 3.
6 Nf3.
Knight to foxtrot 3. So let's see, did I tell all the moves?
5, 5, 4, Nf6.
They go up after knight foxtrot 6. White played knight to Charlie 3.
G6.
Black pawn to golf 6.
6 Nf3.
And white knight to foxtrot 3. Black plays
Bg7.
bishop to golf 7. Bishop to golf 7. White plays
72.
bishop to echo 2.
72.
Bishop to echo 2. And we have
G6.
pawn to delta 6. Pawn to delta 6. I will not swear that it was exactly this order of moves. Maybe black played pawn to delta 6 earlier, for example. But approximately, this setup that we will reach in a move was on the board in 2 of my games, maybe even in 3 of them. So white castle kingside after delta 6, and black also castle kingside. So we have castle, both of us. And what then can we say about the position? I think that it is equal play. But although the engine, at least Stockfish, I haven't run it so much with. Lila, for example, gives minimum advantage to black, but then it is 0-0-1 or something like this in black's favor. Yeah, it's equal play simply. But I think it's easier to play for white, and why? Simply because white has more space, and white's queen stands better than black's queen. Black has very solid position. Both sides have solid positions. White's pieces are more active because of space. The pawn on Qx4 is further advanced than the pawn on delta 6. The queen on delta 3 covers more pieces, more squares than the queen on delta 8. I think these two observations explains why, although white has played seemingly bad moves in the beginning, queen takes delta 4 and queen to delta 3. Queen to delta 3 was not so bad, but queen takes delta 4, developing the queen too early and then having to lose more time at queen to delta 3. And nevertheless, as a good position. That is, I think we have underestimated the value of space earlier. And this is something that the engines have taught us, that space is maybe more important than was hitherto understood until, for example, AlphaZero showed the importance of space. Yeah, all right. We go ahead and see what happened.
Nd5.
White now played knight to delta 5. Knight to delta 5.
Nd5.
And this is, how can we understand this move? I would say that white simply puts the knight on a good square. If black takes, knight takes knight, and white recaptures. If black takes with knight takes delta 5, and white recaptures, that is actually what will happen, then white's pawn on delta 5 will take even more space. And the pawn on Qx7 can be a weakness in the long run. Not at all fantastic for white, but slightly better. If black doesn't capture on delta 5 now, what should black do then? According to Stockfish 17.1, black should play knight delta 7. Knight to delta 7. Yeah, not at all a bad move. White can play in different ways. I would suggest pawn to Charlie 3 after knight to delta 7 in order to block the way for the bishop on Golf 7. Then white can continue. Yeah, there are many plans. Bishop to Qx3 and rook, maybe Foxtrot delta 1, pawn alpha 4, pawn bravo 4. Yeah, play on the queen side generally, and in the center. It is equal play, but white still has the space advantage. If black doesn't play knight to delta 7 here after white plays knight to delta 5, yeah, what should he do? Then we can look at the bishop on Charlie 8. It is not developed. You can follow a bishop to Golf 4, for example. Bishop to Golf 4. But after for example, bishop to Golf 4, white can often get the pair of bishop. I wouldn't say that white has to play hotel 3 right away, although that is clearly an interesting opportunity. White can also first play pawn to Charlie 3, prepare it, and then come with pawn to hotel 3. And when you have a bit more space and the two bishops, you are a bit better. If black wants to get rid of the knight in another way, it is possible to play pawn to echo 6, for example. Pawn to echo 6 instead of bishop to golf 4. But then knight to echo 3, and white has the possibility of putting pressure on delta 6. So there we also have something to play for as white. So these comments, I aim at showing that it is not so easy for black to play when you just look quickly at the position. You think, okay, black must be at least equal. Black has no weaknesses and very well placed bishop on golf 7. The bishop on Charlie 1 is not as good as the bishop on golf 7. But when you start to look at the concrete moves, you soon see that it is not at all easy for black to find moves. So in 2 of my games, black decided to get rid of the knight. Knight takes delta 5. Knight takes delta 5. And I took back pawn echo, from echo 4, took on delta 5. Pawn takes delta 5. Of course, I didn't want to play queen takes delta 5 because, it wouldn't give me a lot. And now I have a bit more space. Pawn takes delta 5 was played. Here, white has a slight advantage, not much, maybe 0.3, 0.4 pawns. In practical play, though, I would say that it is very close to equal. If black plays knight to echo 5, white can exchange knights. Knight takes echo 5, black recaptures bishop takes echo 5, and white probably plays Charlie 3, pawn to Charlie 3. And in this way blocks the bishop and then can continue maybe playing pawn bishop to foxtrot 3, rook echo 1, bishop foxtrot 4, and then when everything is prepared, start advancing the pawns on the queen side. Black, also has a solid position, but it is a bit irritating for black that if black plays bishop to foxtrot 5, for example, okay, white moves the queen away, and then sooner or later white can even push pawn to golf 4 or advance a bit with pawn to hotel 4, hotel 5 in some positions. Of course, you have to be aware so that you don't drop a pawn or something, but these are general comments. But both Casadei and Zambo, they wanted to prove that white hasn't played good enough to get equality. So I faced knight to bravo 4. Knight to bravo 4. Threatening the queen on delta 3, the pawn on delta 5, but also the pawn on Charlie 2. So I stepped back with the queen to delta 1. Queen to delta 1. And now, of course, I've just threatened to push the knight away, maybe with alpha 3, and then follow up with pawn to Charlie 4, occupy the center, and then continue moving with my queen side majority. obviously black had better things in mind. So black played bishop to foxtrot 5,
11.
bishop to foxtrot 5. And in my game against Zambo, for example, here, I think the times were something like this, that I had about 27 minutes on my clock. We started with 25, but due to the increment and that I played quickly, I had more time now than when I started. Black, on his side, had something like 10 minutes on the clock. So, bishop to foxtrot 5. Now it looks like white is in real trouble here. If I play knight to delta 4 to attack the bishop on foxtrot 5 and protect the pawn on Charlie 2, black just takes the knight. Bishop takes delta 4. And if I play queen takes delta 4, I lose a lot of material. Knight takes Charlie 2, followed by knight takes alpha 1. So, what should I do then? I was still in my preparation. I played pawn to Charlie 3. Pawn to Charlie 3. And yeah, if black plays the best move, that is knight to alpha 6, white is almost a pawn down according to Stockfish. White has the better space, and black has just lost time. White can continue with, for example, knight to delta 4, putting the knight on an even better square and threatening the bishop on foxtrot 5. So you don't want to play knight to alpha 6 if you have played knight to bravo 4 and bishop to foxtrot 5. So black plays knight to Charlie 2, knight to Charlie 2, and that is of course what the black opponents had figured out long ago. They just had to double check. But instead of having a completely dominating position, there followed pawn to golf 4, pawn to golf 4,
13g4,
bang, threatening the bishop on foxtrot 5 that protects the knight on Charlie 2. So you can't play bishop takes golf 4, then white plays queen takes Charlie 2 and is a piece up for a pawn. Zambo, he played bishop to a4 here, and I play knight to golf 5 and won a piece eventually, if I remember correctly. Yeah, at least I came out with a lot of material. It could have been also yeah, bishop takes delta 5, and I won a piece in that way for a pawn. So yeah, I won material, and pretty comfortably later on the game. Casadei, he played knight takes alpha 1, knight takes alpha 1. I played golf to takes foxtrot 5, golf takes foxtrot 5, and black played queen to alpha 5, queen to alpha 5.
14 Qa5.
And here I played a bad move. I played, what was it? I think it was pawn to foxtrot 6, and then I yeah, after a while I could catch the knight on alpha 1. What I should have played instead was pawn to alpha 4, pawn to alpha 4, and white has a clearly winning position. The thing that white has to be careful with here is that not losing too many pawns when winning the knight on alpha 1. So pawn to alpha 4, that threatens moving the bishop and then playing maybe pawn to Bravo 4, and then queen takes Alpha 1 when the bishop has moved from Charlie 1. Yeah, and black can try to threaten on Bravo 2.
15, Qb6.
Let's say queen to Bravo 6,
15,
queen to Bravo
Qb6.
6 after Alpha 4. But then now black controls Bravo 3 so that the knight can jump out.
16,
But I
Qd5.
can play bishop to Bravo 5, bishop to Bravo 5.
16, A6.
Black plays pawn to Alpha 6, pawn to Alpha 6,
17, B3.
and I play bishop to Echo 3, bishop to Echo 3. Developing finally the bishop with tempo and threatening the knight on Echo 1, Alpha 1. Sorry, Alpha 1.
17,
So
Qa5.
queen to Alpha 5, queen to Alpha 5,
17, Qa5. 18, B2.
and white just jumps back with the bishop, bishop to Echo 2, bishop to Echo 2. And here maybe black eventually can win one pawn for the knight on Alpha 1, but not more than that. And then white has two pieces, knight and bishop, for a rook and a pawn. That is the most black can get. And this is clearly a winning position for white. So this is examples of what can happen if white surprises the opponent with this Delta 4 and queen takes Delta 4 against the Sicilian defense. I took 3 out of 4 as white against the Sicilian. Should have been 4 out of 4. I was clearly winning after not many moves in the games. So, yeah, this is a little glimpse from my play in the Rapid World Championship for visually impaired. I hope that you could enjoy this idea. Of course, this is not exact. This is not a full game or something, but I think that you could get some inspiration. Alexei Cholovich discusses this line in one of his YouTube videos, and there are 2 courses. One is on Chessable, one is only devoted to this line with queen takes Delta 4, and another line is devoted to similar surprising weapons that are especially effective in rapid chess. So, I thank you for listening, and I will be back soon.